Beloved one, lean in for a moment because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. It is not by accident that these words have found you. They are wrapped in divine timing, orchestrated to arrive precisely in this hour of your life. You have been sensing a stirring inside of you, an ache, a longing, a quiet whisper that refuses to be silenced. For too long you have wondered if heaven still hears you, if God still remembers the prayers you prayed in secret, if the delays meant denial. And yet, here you are, standing at the edge of a new beginning, and heaven has chosen this very moment to speak directly to your heart. There are seasons when God moves quietly, almost imperceptibly, like the gentle shift of a breeze through the trees. And then there are moments like this when the atmosphere itself seems to pause, when time slows, when heaven pulls back the veil to reveal what has been hidden. You are in such a moment right now. Can you feel it? Even as you listen, there is a weight pressing gently upon your spirit, a holy confirmation that this is not ordinary content. This is not entertainment. This is an encounter. For too long, the enemy has whispered lies into your ear. He has told you that you are forgotten, that your prayers have drifted into the void unanswered, that your destiny has been delayed beyond repair. He has tried to convince you that the silence meant abandonment, that the waiting meant rejection, that the longing in your heart was proof of God's absence. But I tell you today, those whispers were never the truth. Heaven has heard every sigh, every groan too deep for words, every tear shed in the midnight hours. Not one prayer has been lost. Not one cry has gone unnoticed. You are seen, you are heard, and you are loved beyond measure. This is not a season of endings. This is a season of unfolding. The shift you have been feeling in your spirit is real. It is the sound of doors unlocking, the movement of angelic hosts preparing the way, the alignment of divine assignments. Archangel Michael himself, the warrior of light, has been dispatched on your behalf. For weeks, perhaps even months, you have been wrestling in unseen battles. Battles in your mind, battles in your heart, battles that seem to drain your strength. But hear me, you were never fighting alone. Even when you felt surrounded, you were being shielded. Even when you felt weak, angels stood guard. Even when you thought you might collapse under the weight of it all, the hand of God was sustaining you. This message comes as a divine interruption, a holy disruption, to remind you that you are standing at the threshold of a promise fulfilled. The restlessness you have felt is not aimless. It is a sign that your spirit recognizes the shift before your eyes can see it. What is coming will not simply meet your expectations, it will exceed them. God is not in the business of barely answering prayers. He is in the business of abundant overflow, of pressed down, shaken together, running over blessings. And He is preparing to do that in your life. There is someone listening right now who has been praying for companionship, for love that is true, for partnership that aligns with destiny, for a soul connection that doesn't drain but empowers. You have wondered if perhaps that prayer was too small or worse, too impossible. But let me remind you, the God who placed that desire in your heart did not do so to torment you. He planted it there as a seed, and seeds, when watered with faith and patience, always bring forth fruit in due season. That season is near. In fact, it is closer than you realize. Even now, heaven is aligning paths, orchestrating meetings, weaving together stories that will soon converge in a divine encounter. Do not grow weary in the waiting. Do not settle for counterfeit connections out of fear that the real thing will never come. What God has prepared for you is worth every moment of patience, every tear shed, every lonely night endured. But companionship is only one part of this divine shift. For some, the prayers have been for provision, for breakthrough in finances, for doors of opportunity, for the ability to step fully into the calling God has placed on your life without the weight of lack pressing against you. To you I say this, heaven has not been silent. There have been delays, yes, but those delays have been preparation. God has been protecting you from doors that would have looked good but led to destruction. He has been closing paths that would have entangled you in webs of compromise. And though it felt like denial, it was divine redirection. Now the moment is approaching when what has been withheld will be released, not in trickles but in streams, not in scarcity but in overflow. Even as you listen, I want you to picture yourself standing on the shore of a vast ocean. For years you have been collecting drops, believing for a little at a time. But suddenly the tide turns, and waves begin to crash at your feet one after another, until you are drenched in the abundance you once only dreamed of. That is the picture heaven is painting over your life. This is not a word of hype. This is a word of truth rooted in the heart of a God who has never failed to fulfill His promises. And so I ask you, beloved, will you receive it? Not with skepticism, not with guarded caution, but with the open hands of a child who trusts their father. Because faith is not passive. Faith is the act of saying yes before the evidence arrives. It is the choice to believe even when circumstances have not yet shifted. Right now, as you listen, heaven is waiting for your agreement. Whisper it softly if you must, or declare it boldly if you feel the fire stirring within you. Yes, Lord, I receive it. That whisper is not too small. That agreement is not insignificant. It resounds in the courts of heaven louder than you can imagine. As this first part of the message closes, know this. You are not at the end of your story. You are at the beginning of a new chapter. The shift you feel is not random. It is heaven's announcement that everything is about to change. And while the world may not yet see it, your spirit already knows. Hold on, beloved. The unfolding has only begun. Beloved, let your heart settle for a moment. What you heard before was only the opening of a doorway, the first unfolding of a scroll written in heaven concerning your life. The Spirit is not finished speaking because there is more He wants you to know, more He desires you to carry, more He longs to reveal in this appointed time. Take a deep breath, because as you receive these words, something inside you is going to awaken. The pieces that once seemed scattered will begin to come together, and the confusion that has clouded your vision will give way to clarity. There is a reason you have felt the pressure so intensely in recent months. The weight you've carried, the battles you've fought, the moments where you felt like you were being stretched beyond your capacity. It was not punishment. It was preparation. You see, the greater the assignment, the greater the resistance. The stronger the destiny, the fiercer the opposition. And if the enemy has been working overtime against you, it is only because he has seen the potential of what is about to be released through you. He doesn't fight what isn't a threat. The warfare you faced has been evidence of the greatness within you, not proof of your weakness. Do not mistake the struggle for abandonment. It has always been a sign of significance. Think of a seed buried in the dark soil. To the outside eye, it appears lifeless, hidden, forgotten. But in truth, beneath the surface, something powerful is happening. The seed is breaking open. Roots are stretching down. Life is forming in the unseen. And when the appointed time comes, that which was hidden will break forth into the light, unstoppable and undeniable. You, beloved, are that seed. The soil of waiting has not been your grave. It has been your womb. The darkness you endured was not the end. It was the beginning. What felt like burial was actually planting. And now the sprouting is near. Archangel Michael stands beside you in this season, not only as a protector but as a herald. His presence is a divine confirmation that battles you once thought impossible are already being won in the unseen realm. You may not see every detail, but heaven has dispatched reinforcements on your behalf. Chains are breaking even now. Curses that lingered for generations are being severed. Doors that were slammed shut by opposition are being pried open by the hand of God. This is why you have felt the urgency, the stirring, the holy restlessness. It is heaven's way of saying, prepare. Something is shifting. The answer is closer than you think. Some of you have been walking through seasons where relationships crumbled. Friendships ended and connections you thought would last forever dissolved without explanation. You have questioned why. You have asked, Lord, was it something I did? Was I not enough? Did I fail them? Hear this clearly. No, beloved. It was not rejection. It was redirection. God has been pruning your circle, not to punish you, but to protect you. Not everyone can walk into the next chapter with you. Some were part of your past, but not your destiny. And while their departure wounded you, heaven has been healing the empty spaces, preparing to fill them with divine alignments that will carry you into your purpose. Do not mourn the losses longer than necessary. What is coming is greater than what was lost. Even as you receive this, your heart may feel the tension between faith and fear. That is normal. Faith does not silence fear. It simply chooses not to obey it. Courage is not the absence of trembling. It is the decision to step forward even while trembling. And you, beloved, have been braver than you realize. Every morning you chose to get up, even when the weight pressed heavily against your chest. Every prayer you whispered when it felt like no one was listening. Every act of kindness you gave when no one was watching. Heaven saw it all. None of it was wasted. Every step has been recorded, every tear collected, every sacrifice honored. And now the Lord says, it is time to see the fruit of your faithfulness. For some of you, this fruit will appear in the form of restoration. What was broken will be mended. What was stolen will be returned. Relationships that seemed beyond repair will suddenly be touched by grace. Dreams you thought were gone forever will be resurrected with fresh life. Do not limit God by assuming he cannot breathe new life into dry bones. Ezekiel once stood in a valley of bones and thought it was impossible. Yet when God's breath moved, what was dead rose again as a mighty army. That same breath is moving in your life even now. For others, the fruit will come as acceleration. Doors that once took years to open will swing wide in days. Opportunities that seemed unreachable will suddenly be placed in your lap. Favor will find you in unexpected places. Where you once struggled and strained, things will begin to flow with ease. It will feel almost unfair, as if the scales have tipped in your direction. That is not coincidence, it is recompense. Heaven is repaying you for every season of delay, every moment of waiting, every time you chose to trust even when you did not understand. Listen closely. The coming days are not just about personal blessing. They are about kingdom assignment. God is raising you up not only to receive but to release. You are not just being blessed for your sake. You are being positioned to bless others. The breakthrough you are about to experience is not just for your comfort. It is for your calling. The light God is igniting in you will illuminate paths for others still walking in darkness. The words you speak, the kindness you show, the love you extend, these will become lifelines for those who feel hopeless. Do not underestimate the ripple effect of your obedience. One act of faith can ignite an entire chain of miracles. And so, beloved, I urge you to prepare your heart. Not in fear, but in expectation. Lift your head, for your redemption is nearer than you think. Wipe your tears, for joy is about to break forth. Strengthen your arms, for the harvest is ready. The Lord is not asking you to strive, but to receive, to trust, to believe that he is who he says he is and that his promises are yes and amen. The atmosphere around you is shifting, even if your natural eyes cannot yet perceive it. The sound of breakthrough is in the air, faint but undeniable. Pay attention to the small signs. A conversation that feels divinely orchestrated, an opportunity that arrives unexpectedly, a sense of peace that cannot be explained. These are the whispers of heaven, the gentle nudges of the Spirit saying, "It has begun." As this second part of the message closes, let your spirit rest in the truth. You are not behind schedule. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are exactly where you need to be, standing on the brink of a divine unveiling, and the God who began this work in you will be faithful to complete it. Beloved, lean closer now, because what I must tell you next carries weight. This is not a word meant to simply encourage you for a fleeting moment. It is a word meant to anchor you for the days ahead. What God is preparing in your life requires not only faith but also readiness. The blessings that are coming are not small, and they are not temporary. They are generational. They are the kind of blessings that leave a legacy, the kind of breakthroughs that ripple beyond you to touch your children, your community, and even strangers you may never meet. But for blessings of that magnitude, your heart and spirit must be prepared to carry the weight of them. The shift that heaven is announcing over your life is not casual. It is strategic. Every delay, every detour, every season of silence was part of a divine arrangement to ensure you would not only receive but also sustain what is coming. You see, it is one thing to be blessed. It is another to have the character to keep the blessing without it being stolen by pride, fear, or doubt. And in this time of preparation, God has been building in you resilience, humility, and discernment, qualities that will protect you in the days of abundance. You may not have seen it as preparation, but every trial was training. Every storm was shaping you. Every unanswered prayer was sharpening your discernment, so that when the answer arrives, you will recognize it instantly. Think about Joseph. Beloved, the dreamer who was sold into slavery, betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, and forgotten in a prison cell. For years it seemed as if his dreams had died, but in truth God was positioning him. He was building in Joseph the wisdom to steward authority, the strength to handle responsibility, the grace to forgive betrayal. When the moment of elevation came, Joseph was not only ready to interpret Pharaoh's dream, he was ready to save nations. In the same way, what you have endured has been equipping you for impact that reaches far beyond your imagination. Archangel Michael has not only been guarding you, he has been fighting battles in realms you cannot see. There are moments you would not have survived had his sword not cut through the darkness surrounding you. There were plans formed against you that never reached you because Michael intercepted them. There were curses spoken, traps set, and assignments sent from the pit of hell that fell powerless because heaven's warrior stood watch over your life. Do you realize, beloved, how protected you are? How surrounded you are by angelic covering? If you could see in the spirit what is happening around you even now, your heart would swell with confidence. You are never walking alone. You never were. And now as heaven shifts the atmosphere, Michael is not only protecting but also clearing the path ahead. Obstacles that once seemed immovable will suddenly crumble. Opposition that once seemed overwhelming will retreat. Delays that once seemed endless will suddenly dissolve. Where there was confusion, clarity will come. Where there was blockage, breakthrough will burst forth. This is not imagination. It is divine reality. The heavens have moved, and when heaven moves, nothing on earth can remain the same. There is someone listening who has been questioning their worth. You have looked at your life and wondered if you are truly enough. Enough for love, enough for success, enough for the calling you feel pressing on your spirit. You have compared yourself to others, measuring your journey against theirs, and in doing so you have allowed shame to creep in. But hear me clearly. Heaven is not measuring you by the standards of this world. You are not defined by the timeline of others. You are not less because your journey looks different. You are uniquely chosen, uniquely anointed, uniquely crafted by the hand of the Creator. And the anointing on your life cannot be duplicated or diminished by anyone else's success. Stop looking outward in comparison and start looking upward in trust. The God who made you knew exactly what He was doing. There are also those who feel weary, tired of waiting, tired of hoping, tired of believing. The delays have pressed so heavily on you that you have wondered if you should give up altogether. You have said quietly in your heart, maybe I misheard God. Maybe the promise wasn't real. Maybe it was just my imagination. But beloved, the promise is real. The stirring in your spirit was not a lie. The longing in your heart was not a mistake. Hope may feel fragile, but it is not dead. And even now the Spirit of God is breathing fresh strength into you. Like Elijah in the wilderness who thought his journey was over, heaven is saying to you, arise and eat, for the journey ahead is too great for you without my strength. This word is your bread. This presence is your strength. You will rise again. Consider how many times in your life you thought the end had come and yet you survived. How many moments when you thought you couldn't endure another day and yet you did. That same grace is with you now. And not only will you endure, but you will thrive. Not only will you survive, but you will soar. This season is not about barely making it. It is about stepping boldly into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. This shift is also about unlocking your voice. For too long you have silenced yourself, holding back words you long to speak, dreams you long to share, truth you long to declare. Fear told you that your voice was too small, too insignificant, too unworthy to be heard. But heaven is saying your voice carries power. It carries healing. It carries authority. When you speak, chains break. When you pray, atmospheres shift. When you declare truth, lies are silenced. Do not underestimate the sound of your agreement with heaven. What you release with your words has the ability to shift entire environments. So, beloved, open your mouth. Speak what God has placed within you. Declare promises over your life. Prophesy hope over your family. Speak life over your future. Do not let silence be your prison any longer. Heaven is waiting for your agreement. Earth is waiting for your sound. Angels respond to the word of God released through your lips. Creation itself leans forward when you open your mouth in faith. The enemy has tried to silence you because he knows the power you carry when you speak. But now is the time to break that silence once and for all. This is why the Lord says to you now, do not fear the days ahead. Do not tremble at the unknown. Do not shrink back when the shift feels overwhelming. For I am with you. I go before you. I will never leave you or forsake you. These words are not empty comfort. They are eternal truth. And when you hold on to them, when you anchor yourself in them, you will find the courage to keep moving forward, even when everything around you feels uncertain. Beloved, as this section draws to a close, let this truth settle deep in your heart. You are on holy ground. Your story is not random. Your journey is not wasted. Your future is not fragile. You are divinely aligned, fiercely protected, and powerfully chosen for such a time as this. Lift your eyes. The dawn is breaking, and soon the world will see what heaven has been preparing all along. Beloved, let your spirit rise as you hear this, because what comes next is a revelation of why the battles have been so fierce, why the delays have been so long, and why the stirring in your heart has been so unshakable. The truth is this: the enemy has been terrified of your future. He has seen glimpses of what God is about to release through you, and he has thrown everything in his arsenal to try to stop it. But what he feared most is what he failed to prevent. You are still here. You are still believing. You are still pressing forward. And because of that, the very plans that were designed to destroy you are becoming the foundation upon which God will elevate you. Look back for a moment at the valleys you've walked through. Remember the nights when despair seemed louder than hope, when darkness pressed against you so thickly you thought you might suffocate. Remember the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments that carved wounds in your heart. At the time, they felt unbearable. At the time, they felt like the end. But now, as you stand in this moment, you can see more clearly. Those valleys did not bury you. They built you. Those wounds became places where God's light now shines brightest. Those losses cleared the ground for something greater to be planted. And those disappointments, though bitter, were actually divine appointments redirecting you to paths you could not yet see. This is the essence of contrast, beloved. What once felt like breaking has now become your making. What once looked like defeat is now revealed as the very process that prepared you for victory. You cannot separate the pain from the promise, because the pain shaped you into the person capable of carrying the promise. And this is why your testimony will carry such power, because it is not born of theory but of experience. You will not simply say that God is faithful. You will testify that you have lived His faithfulness. You will not merely repeat that God provides. You will proclaim that you have seen Him provide in ways that defy explanation. Your story will become a beacon for others lost in the same darkness you once endured. Beloved, hear this clearly. The season you are stepping into is not just about receiving blessings, it is about embodying breakthrough. You are becoming a living testimony, a walking sign that points others to the reality of God's love and power. And this is why the enemy fought you so viciously, because he knew that once you emerged, you would not emerge empty-handed. You would come forth carrying wisdom, carrying authority, carrying light that cannot be dimmed. You are more dangerous to the kingdom of darkness now than you have ever been, because your faith has been tested and proven true. Do not underestimate the shift happening within you even now. There is a boldness rising. There is a courage awakening. There is a fire being kindled that will not burn out. You once questioned your strength, but you will soon realize you carry a strength not your own. It is the strength of heaven, the strength of the Spirit of God alive within you, and that strength will carry you into places you never imagined possible. Some of you listening right now are about to step into opportunities that will feel overwhelming. Doors will open that seem too big, too grand, too impossible for someone like you, and your first instinct may be to shrink back to say, "Surely not me. Surely this is too much." But listen, God is not opening those doors by accident. If He brings you to it, He has equipped you for it. You will discover abilities you didn't know you had. You will find words flowing from your mouth that you didn't rehearse. You will see solutions arise in your mind that you couldn't have thought of on your own. That is the Spirit working through you. That is heaven confirming that you are not only chosen, you are empowered. Others will see what is happening in your life and wonder how it happened so suddenly. They will say it was luck or coincidence or timing, but you will know the truth. It was God. It was His hand that lifted you. It was His favor that surrounded you. It was His angels that cleared the way, and you will give Him glory. Not because you have to, but because gratitude will pour from your heart like a river. You will not be able to keep silent about the goodness of God because your life itself will become the evidence of His goodness. Beloved, prepare yourself also for reconciliation. Some people who once doubted you, dismissed you, or even betrayed you will witness the hand of God on your life and come back seeking forgiveness, seeking restoration. And you will be faced with a choice, to hold on to bitterness or to extend the same grace you were given. Do not be surprised when this happens. It will not be to shame you or to test you, but to reveal how deeply God has transformed your heart. The ability to forgive is one of the greatest signs of true freedom. And when you release others from the debt of their offense, you release yourself into even greater blessing. And while some will return, others will watch from a distance. Not everyone will celebrate you. Not everyone will understand the shift happening in your life. Some will envy. Some will criticize. Some will gossip. Do not let their voices distract you. You are not called to convince them. You are called to walk faithfully. Their misunderstanding is not your burden to carry. Keep your eyes on the one who called you and let His approval be enough. Archangel Michael's presence in your story is not only a sign of protection, it is a sign of divine justice. What the enemy meant for evil, God is turning for good. What was stolen will be restored. What was withheld will be released. And the justice of heaven will not only vindicate you but also elevate you. The tables are turning. The scales are being balanced. And soon you will see that every tear, every prayer, every sacrifice was worth it. Pause for a moment and imagine yourself walking into the new chapter ahead. Picture the heaviness lifting from your shoulders, the chains falling from your hands, the weight of shame dissolving into nothingness. Picture the smile that begins to form on your lips as you realize you made it. You survived what was sent to destroy you. You endured what others said would break you. And now you are stepping into joy unspeakable, peace unshakable, and hope unbreakable. That is your portion, beloved. That is your inheritance. As this fourth section closes, hold tightly to this truth. The story is not over, but the ending has already been written by the author of life. And his word over you is not failure, not defeat, not despair. His word over you is victory. His word over you is destiny. His word over you is love everlasting. Beloved, as we continue, I want you to lean into this truth. The breakthrough that is coming into your life is not random, not accidental, and not fragile. It has been carefully prepared, strategically orchestrated, and divinely timed. The reason your spirit feels restless right now is because you are standing at the edge of it. Imagine a sunrise after the longest night. Those first streaks of light that cut through the darkness. That is what is happening within you. The night has not only ended, the dawn has begun. Many of you listening have walked with questions heavy on your heart. You've asked, why did I have to go through so much? Why did the waiting have to last this long? Why did the doors keep closing when I thought they should open? Beloved, sometimes God's silence is not absence. It is preparation. He wasn't ignoring you. He was aligning everything perfectly so that when the moment arrived, nothing could stop it. If the door had opened sooner, you would have stepped through unprepared. If the relationship had come earlier, it would have collapsed under the weight of immaturity. If the opportunity had been given before its time, it might have crushed you instead of lifted you. God's timing is never late. It is always strategic, always purposeful, always exact. And now his spirit is whispering, the appointed time is near. Can you sense it? There is a holy anticipation building in your heart. It is not wishful thinking. It is not empty hope. It is the Spirit confirming that the tides are turning in your favor. The waiting season is shifting into a season of acceleration. Where things once felt stagnant, movement is coming. Where you once faced delay, momentum will carry you forward. And it will happen so swiftly that those around you will marvel at how quickly things change. This is why it is so vital for you to stay anchored in God's presence right now. When acceleration comes, it can feel overwhelming. The pace will increase. The opportunities will multiply. The blessings will flow, and in the midst of it you must remain grounded in the one who gave it all. This is not a season for pride or self-reliance. It is a season for humility, gratitude, and stewardship. God is not just blessing you for your sake. He is blessing you to become a channel of blessing for others. Picture a river, beloved. A river never hoards the water. It allows the water to flow through it, refreshing everything in its path. That is what you are called to be in this new season. The abundance that comes into your hands is not meant to stagnate. It is meant to flow, to refresh, to restore, to lift others. Some of you are being called to build, to create, to launch something that will impact generations. Others are being called to give, to sow into places that need hope and healing. And still others are being called simply to live in such a way that your life becomes a testimony of God's overflowing goodness. Whatever your assignment, the key is this: do not dam up the river. Let it flow, and here is the promise. As you allow his blessings to flow through you, more will come. You cannot outgive God. You cannot outbless him. The more you release, the more he entrusts to you because he knows you are faithful with what he has placed in your hands. The enemy would love for you to become fearful, to clutch tightly to what is given, to hoard it out of insecurity. But that is not who you are. You are not a vessel of fear, you are a vessel of faith. You are not a reservoir, you are a river. And rivers never run dry because their source is eternal. Some of you are also stepping into a season of answered prayers in your relationships. God has heard the cries of your heart for companionship, for reconciliation, for connection that aligns with his purpose. This is the hour when divine alignments are being made. People you thought were lost from your story will reappear, not to drag you backward, but to propel you forward. New faces will emerge, carrying the very qualities you prayed for in secret. Friendships that sharpen you, partnerships that strengthen you, love that reflects his love for you. All of this is being woven into your path even now, and when it comes, you will recognize it instantly, because it will carry peace, not chaos, not confusion, not uncertainty, but peace, the kind that settles deep into your soul and confirms that God's hand is in it. Beloved, remember this. Counterfeits often come before the genuine. The enemy tries to distract you with imitations, with connections that look good on the surface but lack the substance of God's promise. That is why discernment is so critical. Do not be rushed. Do not be pressured. Do not settle for less than what God has spoken over you. The real will carry fruit. The real will endure storms. The real will align not only with your desires, but with your destiny. Wait for the real. It is coming. For others, this new season will mark a release of creativity, ideas, and innovation. You will find yourself suddenly inspired, suddenly awakened to dreams you had long forgotten. Things you once set aside as impossible will rise again in your spirit with new life. Do not dismiss them. Do not say it's too late. Nothing is too late when God breathes on it. The Spirit is resurrecting dormant gifts and awakening visions for such a time as this. And the ideas that come will not only bless you, they will bless countless others. They will carry solutions, healing, and transformation for people you may never meet in person, but who will be touched by what you release. And yes, beloved, there will also be challenges ahead. Do not think that stepping into blessing means stepping out of battle. The battles will continue, but they will not defeat you. In fact, you will find that the very battles meant to hinder you will only confirm that you are on the right path. Resistance is a sign of movement. Opposition is proof that you are advancing. Do not fear it. Do not shrink from it. Stand firm, knowing that you are not fighting alone. Heaven's armies are with you. Archangel Michael himself wars on your behalf. The Spirit strengthens you from within, and the victory is already secured. As you prepare for this acceleration, anchor yourself in prayer. Saturate your days in His presence. Let His word be your compass, His Spirit your guide, His peace your shield. The winds of change are strong, but those rooted in Him cannot be shaken. Others may falter, but you will stand. Others may grow weary, but you will run and not faint. For the joy of the Lord is your strength, and His promises are your foundation. Beloved, as this section draws to a close, take this to heart. You are not waiting for a distant blessing, you are stepping into a present shift. The door is not only opening, it is swinging wide. The breakthrough is not only coming, it is here. And though your eyes may not yet see the fullness, your spirit already knows. Hold on to that knowing. It is heaven's whisper, it is time. Beloved, as we arrive at the closing part of this message, let the word soak deeply into your spirit. For this is not just the end of a script, it is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Everything we have walked through together, from the whispers of waiting to the promises of breakthrough, has been building to this moment. Heaven is making a declaration over you. It is finished. The old season has closed. The waiting has served its purpose, and now the unfolding begins in fullness. Lift your head for a moment and notice how much you have already changed. You are not the same person who started this journey. The battles that once wore you down now serve as reminders of your resilience. The doubts that once clouded your mind have been met with undeniable truths. The tears that once flowed from sorrow are being transformed into tears of gratitude. Every step of the way, the hand of God has been guiding, shaping, refining, and preparing you for this hour. Beloved, your faith has not been wasted. Your waiting has not been wasted. Your prayers have not been wasted. They have all been collected like precious jewels in the courts of heaven, and now they are being poured out as blessings in your life. What felt like delay was only storage. What seemed like silence was only strategy. And what felt like abandonment was actually protection. The Father was never far. He was always near, guarding your steps even when you could not see Him. I hear the Spirit saying, the season of hiddenness is over. You will no longer feel invisible, overlooked, or forgotten. What was once concealed is being revealed. The gifts you carry, the anointing on your life, the purpose burning in your heart, they are coming into the light. And the light will not expose you to shame. It will display you as a vessel of God's glory. You will be seen not for your own sake, but so that through you others may see Him. Beloved, this unveiling is not about pride, nor is it about personal ambition. It is about assignment. You have been entrusted with a mission, and that mission is to release hope, love, and truth into a world starving for it. Do not underestimate the impact of your obedience. A single word spoken in alignment with heaven can shift the atmosphere of an entire family. A single act of kindness inspired by the Spirit can heal a wound that has lingered for years. A single prayer whispered in faith can open doors that generations have been waiting to see unlocked. You are not small, beloved. You are significant because the one who lives in you is mighty. And as you step forward, know this: you are not stepping forward alone. Angels surround you. Archangel Michael goes before you. The Spirit of God fills you, and the community of faith will rise around you. This is not a solitary journey. This is a kingdom movement. You are being woven into a tapestry of destiny far greater than you can imagine. Others will walk with you, shoulder to shoulder, carrying their own testimonies of grace. Together you will become a radiant army of light, pushing back the shadows and announcing the reign of love. Beloved, the time of mourning is turning into dancing. The garments of heaviness are being exchanged for garments of praise. The ashes of past seasons are being traded for crowns of beauty. Where you once felt broken, you will stand whole. Where you once felt weak, you will rise strong. Where you once felt lost, you will walk with clarity. This is not a fragile hope, it is a guaranteed promise. For the one who speaks it is faithful and cannot lie. Take a moment and breathe this truth in. You are chosen. You are beloved. You are destined. And nothing, no mistake, no failure, no delay, no attack, can cancel what God has spoken over you. His word does not return void. His promises do not expire. His love does not diminish. What he has begun in you, he will surely complete. And here is the beauty of it all. Even as your story unfolds, it will not only be about you. Others will find healing in your testimony. Others will discover courage through your example. Others will come to know the love of God because of the light shining through your life. You will become a living answer to someone else's prayer. That is the nature of kingdom destiny. It always multiplies. Beloved, picture it with me. The days ahead, filled with laughter you once thought was lost, with love you once doubted was possible, with opportunities you once feared would never arrive. Picture yourself waking each morning with peace instead of anxiety, with hope instead of dread, with joy instead of sorrow. This is not fantasy. This is reality unfolding, and it begins now. So I invite you, even as these words come to a close, to whisper your own yes, to align your heart fully with heaven's decree, to say, Lord, I receive. Lord, I trust. Lord, I step forward. That yes is more powerful than you know. It unlocks the doors that have stood shut. It releases the blessings that have been waiting. It aligns you with the destiny that has been calling your name. Beloved, let the peace of God guard your heart. Let the fire of His Spirit fuel your courage. Let the assurance of His promises anchor your steps. And as you go forth, remember this always. You are never alone. Heaven is with you. The God who called you is faithful. And the story He is writing through your life will be one of redemption, glory, and everlasting love. This is the prophetic word over you. Your waiting has ended. Your breakthrough has begun. Your destiny is unfolding. Step forward, for the time is now.